This episode may contain content of a graphic nature, including descriptions of physical and sexual violence against adults, children, and animals. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi everyone, I'm Tanya.
And I'm Talia.
And we are Crimes and Consequences, a true crime podcast.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Talia.
Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of Crimes and Consequences. I hope everybody's doing awesome. Are you doing awesome? Don't answer. And am I doing awesome? I'm doing.
You're doing
splendid.
Absolutely great today.
If you haven't done so already, I'd like to ask y'all to hit that subscribe, like, follow, love you button.
Love ya.
I think
they should have one.
They probably do. I mean, can't they?
I know.
A little heart by us.
Right.
Are you ready?
I am.
All right. Well, it takes place in Austin, which is the state capital of Texas. Have you ever been to Austin?
No, I want to go.
It's known for its warm weather, and it has 300 days of sunshine a year.
Oh my God, seriously?
Yes. We're from Michigan. We get one day. It's got a lot of food, entertainment.
Wow.
I know. I'd be so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Friendly communities. The economy is primarily driven by high-tech industries like pharmaceutical companies, biotechnology companies, IT, and there are a lot of companies that are developing AI technology. That's way too advanced for me.
I'm going to let that technology pass me by because I think I'm done learning new stuff at this point
I'm still trying to work on my iPhone. And something cute about Austin is there's a lot of people that have these bumper stickers that say, quote, "Keep Austin weird."
Oh, cute.
Little cuteness.
Yeah, that's cute.
This is where Caitlyn Armstrong and Colin Strickland met. I'm going to give you a little background on Caitlyn. She was born November 21st, 1987. And you know where she grew up?
Michigan?
Livonia, Michigan.
Oh, Livonia.
Yeah. She went to high school there. Classmates described her as being outgoing, friendly, but sometimes could be bossy and controlling. I know people like that. She was very athletic as a teenager, and she had this red, curly hair. So it kind of made her stand out. She liked volleyball, track and field, and did some basketball. In 2005, she was voted best hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm picturing some really great hair.
I would like some, yeah. No, I didn't get voted shit.
Yeah, me neither. Don't worry about it. We're in the not voted for shit category.
She ended up going to Schoolcraft College. You know where that is.
Yep.
That's community college before she went to Eastern Michigan University. She got a job working in finance for several years before she changed her career. And she became a licensed realtor and on the side a yoga instructor.
Oh my goodness, that sounds awesome.
From finance to
yoga. Good for her.
Yeah.
That finance probably stressed her out. She needed
that's
yoga.
why she had to do yoga. And, yeah. In October of 2018, that's when she met Colin. And she met him on the dating app Hinge.
Oh, Hinge.
It's better than Tinder, isn't it? I don't know.
I don't know.
This dating app, if there are those that don't know, is designed for you to meet the one.
Oh,
though,
to fall in love with and marry.
I don't. From what I know, that's not really what it's for. Maybe the one for the night. I don't know. So let me tell you about Colin. He was born November 7th in 1986, and he grew up in Johnson City, which is in Texas. His family, they owned a farm on the outskirts of the city, and he developed a love for the outdoors, because they're out in the country. And he would ride his bike down the gravel roads. He was described as eccentric, and he loved music, and he loved art, but he was eccentric.
I love eccentric people. They're fun.
Yeah, just, not when they're family members.
That's true.
I'm just from experience. As he grew up on the farm, he became very conscious of where his food source was from. Because when I'm saying he grew up on a farm, I'm talking about he grew up on a farm. By the age of 25, he was a member of the Red Bull athletic community, and he was a professional cyclist.
Cyclist? I didn't see that coming.
Yes. After college, he had won his first cycling race, so he was much better at biking than me.
I haven't been on a bike in ages.
And he actually went on to compete internationally. He was considered a public figure for the cycling community, and he had a large following on Instagram.
Wow.
There's a whole world out there we don't
I
know
was just
anything
going to
about.
say, man, there's all kinds of stuff out there that
True crime, cycling.
I'm not a part of.
So Colin and Caitlyn's relationship was described in the beginning as being healthy. That's what her friends said, his friends said. Both Colin and Kaitlyn enjoyed cycling together. So it was kind of a hobby
Good
they
for
had,
them.
like you and your husband, but only without a bike and not moving and sitting on the couch.
Exactly.
As the relationship continued, it got more serious. So when Caitlyn's apartment was hit by an ice storm that ended up barreling through Texas.
Oh.
Yeah, it caused the pipes to burst. So they decided that would be a great time to move in together. They purchased some property together and they spent hours planning on the renovation of the house. So they took a big step.
Yeah. It's a huge
They
step.
also started a business together. It was called
man, and they're not married yet?
Wheelhouse Mobile, where they would restore and resell customized Spartan trailers. For those that don't know what a Spartan trailer is, they're vintage style RVs.
Yeah,
in a
I
way.
think it's probably like those metal ones.
I'm not really sure. I did look, but I think they're like old school RVs, Winnebagos, whatever. Doesn't matter. They're restoring them, they're fixing them up, and they're selling them on the side. Caitlyn became an agent for Sotheby's. It's a broker of fine arts and jewelry.
They do all those auctions.
Yes. And she sold the trailers
Oh, nice.
for around $350,000.
Damn.
She had that background, remember, in finance. So she started to manage Colin's racing finances because he was making money, believe it or not, cycling around the place. I still wouldn't ride a bike, but that's fine. And so she had access to his passwords. Some close friends said that they felt that Caitlyn had become obsessed with his online presence because he was a local celebrity and a celebrity with the cyclists out there. A friend of the couple recalled an awkward encounter that this person had experienced with Colin and Kaitlyn. Like it was one of those things that made you really uncomfortable. One of Colin's sponsors, Rafa, it's a brand of cycling clothing, designed an exclusive cycling kit with all the sponsors' logos on them. As a gift, Colin decided to get a set for Caitlyn, but told her that she couldn't wear it in public, just in case the sponsors didn't like that. And she's like, what is this? One day, the pair decided to go for a ride with some friends, and Caitlyn wore that whole, cycling kit. I guess that's like a helmet with a shirt. I don't know what a cycling kit is. Colin told Caitlyn to change. Like, you need to change. You need to get out of that. And Caitlyn said, you know what? I'm not going for a ride with you guys. I'm not going. So that was a sign of tension.
Yeah.
But some also recall having to call Colin out on sometimes because he was really condescending. He would be rude to even his friends, and he was often demeaning to Caitlyn. He would say things that just to the people around him, it just wasn't right. It was rude. It was inappropriate. It was wrong. He looked like a jerk. This is where the couple started to feel the strain of what it was like to actually have a partner. Because, in the beginning it's a honeymoon phase and stuff. But now the cracks started to show between the couple. And as I said, friends were noticing. Now we're in October of 2021. The couple decided this is not a good idea. It would be best to end the relationship on mutual terms, but remain friends and roommates.
No. That does not sound like a good idea.
No. Mm-mm. They split. They each had their own separate rooms in their home. And Caitlyn reportedly had brought over multiple men.
Oh, no.
She met on the dating app Bumble.
Oh, she switched over to Bumble.
Because Hinge, ended up not working out so well for her. And although this didn't seem to bother Colin, at the time he acted like it didn't because...
Oh, it fucking bothered him. I'm sure it had to.
But guess what he was doing?
Oh, he's doing the same thing.
Bringing home some girls and doing some...
How awkward is that?
Chicka, chicka, boom, boom stuff.
How awkward is that?
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's a bad idea.
Yes.
And Colin met Mariah Wilson. Anna went by Mariah. And I'm going to give you a little background on Mariah. She was born May 18th, 1996. So she's got to be like 25. She was born to Eric and Karen Wilson. She had a brother named Matthew. The family lived in a small town called Kirby, which is a northern part of Vermont. She grew up in Kirby, and the Wilson family was surrounded by beautiful greenery. They loved the outdoors, just like Colin did. At a young age, Mariah displayed signs of perfectionism, which would overwhelm her and cause her to have anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
In middle school, her parents sent her to a therapist to help her find a way to manage all of this. This trait would later become really prominent in her adult life. She was very motivated because, as you know, perfectionists are motivated to be perfect.
Right.
And so she was very motivated to become something in her life. In 2014, she graduated from Burke Mountain Academy, one of the first ski academies
Wow. That's impressive.
in North America.
There's a ski academy?
I know. I was just thinking the same thing as someone that's skied once.
I've never skied.
Yeah, I bet.
Never.
I bet you haven't.
I didn't even do it in high school.
She had a talent for alpine skiing.
Good for her.
I don't even know what it was. But she placed third in the 2013 U.S. Junior National Championship downhill event at a national level.
Damn, she was good. And you know that third place wasn't good enough for her.
Right.
Right? She probably stressed about it. Poor thing.
But then something bad happened. She ended up tearing her ACL in her sophomore year.
Oh, damn.
But it healed. But then she tore it again 3 years later. She was in a lot of pain. She didn't let it stop her. She ended up growing up and learning to embrace adversity, the pain, with a grace and a purpose. And she had a really strong work ethic. The people close to her would describe it as being abnormally amazing, like out of this world. Then she went on to attend Dartmouth College. She got a degree in engineering in 2019. She was pretty much ready to take the world on. She had a great education, and she did have a really good personality. In her spare time, she would write. She ended up traveling to different places in the world and enjoyed experiencing all the other cultures out there. She's got obviously some money going on because...
Yeah, that's not cheap.
Yeah,
Dartmouth isn't cheap either, so...
Even though she had her engineering degree, she was an aspiring chef.
Oh, man, this girl is talented.
Right? She loved Taco Tuesdays. I love Taco Tuesdays.
I love Taco Tuesdays, too. I like Taco Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And she ended up having a deep love for cycling. That became her biggest hobby. And then it became her profession. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. She had come to the decision that engineering wasn't for her. And so she ended up doing more cycling. She had by this time, a corporate job for a few years, and she was just getting sick of,
Corporate jobs suck.
Yeah.
Working for the man blows.
Long story short, she ended up being a professional cyclist. She wanted to be free in nature and around all that.
I get it, girl.
No, you don't.
It's totally not my chosen way to spend my time. No, but I understand some people do enjoy it.
She became popular in the cycling community, and after competing in 2 gravel cycling seasons, and they're like 3 months long. I know nothing about cycling seasons or gravel cycling season. She rose to the top of the pack, and she had a lot of victories both in gravel and mountain races.
Okay.
She was a force to be reckoned with. Unfortunately, due to the worldwide spread of COVID.
Yeah, lovely.
The racing community experienced a hold on they couldn't have any races.
Yeah, we lost like 2 years.
Yeah, of our lives.
Yes.
But that didn't really stop Mariah. In November of 2020, she attended the Proving Ground of American Endurance Races.
That sounds impressive.
Yeah, in just 7 hours with only a hydration packet and 2 water bottles, she completed the Moab's White Rim Loop, a 100-mile loop through the canyons of Colorado and the Green Rivers, and she set a record for women.
Wow.
100
miles?
Miles.
Wow. 7 hours and 100 miles?
Yeah, I don't even think I drive that fast.
No. I mean, yeah.
I know.
But that is pretty impressive on a bike.
Yeah. Mariah was determined to be in as many cycling events as possible. And she told one reporter that she often found it hard to compete in all of them because there were all these overlaps in events, and she wanted to just do all of them. She wanted to get into all of them. In October of 2021, Mariah moved to Austin, Texas, and she got very well known in the local cycling community. This is when Colin and Mariah met at a local cycling event in town and became bonded over their mutual love for cycling. Both of them were in the middle of a breakup. Mariah had left because she broke up with her boyfriend, wanted a fresh start. She was newly single. And it didn't take long before their relationship developed.
Blossom.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, girl.
Colin didn't realize that his relationship he had with Mariah hurt Caitlyn's feelings. So when I told you before, she was bringing over men, but he was bringing over women.
Right.
He really didn't think Caitlyn cared.
No, I wouldn't either.
But Caitlyn was pretty open about her feelings towards Mariah and that she didn't like her. Caitlyn had somehow gotten Mariah's number, I don't know how,
Uh-oh.
and spent the next few months harassing and threatening her, telling her she better stay away from Colin.
That never works.
Girl.
That never works.
Girl.
You're just showing you're crazy.
You live with him. He's your ex. You're bringing home guys.
Because poor Mariah is not going to be like, Caitlyn's been calling me. She's nuts. Right? How are you going to win over someone by showing that you're crazy?
Well, my thing is, you dumped him. You don't want to be with him.
You don't want to be with him. So what's the problem?
And you're being with other people. Why do you care? What is Colin supposed to be alone for the rest of his life?
Exactly. I know.
The threats had become so constant that Mariah attempted to end it by blocking Caitlyn and telling Colin, listen, you got to stop her. This is out of control. But because all three of them were into cycling.
Oh, come on.
They shared the same group of friends.
Oh, no.
And that made the outings very awkward for all their friends involved, as you can imagine.
Every single person.
It was only literally after 2 weeks of officially dating, Colin decided to call it quits with Mariah. So this all happened in 2 weeks.
Jeez.
Harassment, phone calls.
Yeah.
Mariah's, she gets dumped by Colin. It didn't take long for Caitlyn to snatch Colin back up.
Oh.
And they rekindled the romance.
Did they really?
They did.
Well, he's an asshole.
Colin and Mariah would continue to be friends, and Caitlyn didn't know that they were meeting privately still.
Oh, no.
You know how this all goes.
Oh, no. This is messy.
Yes.
Messy, messy. Oh, boy.
Colin had changed Mariah's name in his phone to something different. I don't know what it was, so Caitlyn wouldn't find out.
It was probably like Steve or something.
Their secret hanging outs. But Caitlyn eventually figured it out. There was basically a secret romance happening behind her back. If you thought they were just grabbing coffee, Mariah and Colin, they weren't.
They weren't.
And Caitlyn started to act out even more, and her behavior became very odd. Her behavior was really concerning. But before I tell you more, we're going to take a quick break.
Banish the end of summer blues with HelloFresh. No need to stress about how you'll handle it all this fall because HelloFresh takes care of the meal planning and delivers pre-portioned ingredients right to your home. So whipping up a homemade meal is a cinch. Feel like you would love a wholesome homemade meal, but there's just not enough time? With HelloFresh, all you need is 15 minutes and you'll enjoy a tasty, satisfying meal made in your own kitchen. Just look for their quick and easy dinner options, plus quick breakfasts and lunches too. I've used HelloFresh in the past, and there are so many reasons why I love it. Besides the convenience and the fact that I don't have to go to the grocery store, I love the fact that I don't have to plan a menu. I also love the fact that HelloFresh has such a variety to choose from each week, between chicken and fish and steak and vegetarian and low calorie. There's just so many choices. Go to HelloFresh.com/crimes150 and use the code CRIMES150, that's 10050, for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, go to HelloFresh.com/crimes10050 and use code CRIMES10050 for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
So we have this love triangle going on. It's May 11th of 2022. So this is recent. Just before 10 p.m., emergency services were called by Mariah's friend, and she was in a state of panic. She was hysterical. She told 911 she just returned home to find her friend motionless on the bathroom floor. Not long after that call was made, authorities arrived on the scene, and they found a woman, Mariah, dead.
Oh, no.
She had multiple gunshot wounds.
Oh, shit.
At a very close range. She'd been shot. Mariah was supposed to perform in a mountain bike race the next day where everybody thought she was going to win, but obviously she didn't make it to that race. The autopsy confirmed that Mariah's death was homicide, in case you're like, whoa, she just got shot multiple times, which came as no surprise to the police, given how gruesome the crime scene was. She'd sustained 2 gunshot wounds to the head and 1 to the chest while she was face up, laying on the floor. The police inspected the crime scene, and the officers found multiple shell casings, but they couldn't find the weapon in the house, and it led them to believe that somebody did this crime. The front door was unlocked at Mariah's home, and her bike had been stolen. The officers found the bike later on had been tossed into this thick growth of bamboo about 70 feet from her friend's place where she'd been staying. So she was staying with a friend. The community of Austin and the larger cycling community, to them, Mariah's death, I mean, it really shook them to the core. She's young, you know, and she's active, and people were just confused. Like, who would come in and shoot Mariah
and then steal
in
her
the
bike?
head and then steal her bike?
Because that's not a big clue.
No one could think of anybody that would want to harm Mariah because she was kind, friendly, well-natured. She didn't have any enemies except for that toxic love triangle. Prior to Mariah's murder, Caitlyn allegedly openly spoke about how she wanted to kill Mariah.
Oh, she did?
So there were some people that were like, you had said you wanted to kill her, and now she's dead.
Is that a coincidence?
No, I think not.
I think not.
Since Mariah was staying at her friend's house, the police interviewed her friend in an attempt to figure out, like, who, why, what do you think happened? The house Mariah was staying at, her friend's house, it had like an electric lock or one of those, you needed the code to get in. And then there'd be a timestamp when someone accessed the property. Police were able, based on that, to tell exactly when Mariah had entered and exited the apartment and her timeline for the day. According to the timeline they put together after investigating, Mariah and Colin had met up, went to a local pool to go swimming together just before 6 p.m. After a quick swim, the pair went to a restaurant for dinner. While they had dinner, Colin's phone started to go off. When he checked it, he saw it was Caitlyn calling. He ignored the call because he knew that it would upset Caitlyn.
And Mariah.
And Mariah. And he's not going to be like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm out at a restaurant right now with Mariah. Then Colin took Mariah home, and that was about 8:30 p.m. He never entered the property, and he just went straight home. Colin and Mariah didn't know that Caitlyn had been stalking the pair.
Oh, she had been.
So she knew when she was calling Colin where they were.
Yeah.
She's
probably looking at him, right? From across the street or something.
CCTV footage around the property where Mariah was staying showing Caitlyn's black Jeep driving by the property at about 8:37, just after Mariah had returned home from her date with Colin. Caitlyn's Jeep, it was distinct. It was large. It had that rack mounting on the back that for luggage and bike. The police were able to get a search warrant for Colin and Caitlyn's house, and of course they find the same car that they saw on the CCTV footage. They also found in their search of the property a handgun.
Oh.
Girl, why?
You stupid ass.
Why are you bringing that gun home?
Damn,
and
people are dumb.
It was identified as a murder weapon with the same bullets that had been found at the crime scene.
Really, you brought it home. God. Messy.
I know. I'm not trying to make light of it, but
no,
if you're going to do it.
No, me either, but geez, if you're going to kill somebody, at least try to cover your tracks.
Colin was the only person at the property, at the house, when the police arrived. And so at first they were like, maybe it's Colin that did it. But he was very cooperative with the police. They interviewed him and he said, yeah, I've been seeing Mariah on the side. I have nothing to do with this murder. He told him, he admitted that he went swimming and he went out to dinner and he took her home. And of course, he's the last person to have seen her, and only a few minutes after he took her home, she's dead. He also admitted to police that he lied to Caitlyn about his whereabouts. And after dropping off Mariah, he sent Caitlyn a text message. Hey, how are you? I went to drop some flowers off for Allison at her son's house up north, and my phone died. Heading home unless you have another suggestion and you'd like some food. He returned home about 8:40. And guess who wasn't home?
Caitlyn.
Yes. Around a half hour later, Caitlyn came home, and then Colin and Kaitlyn had sex.
Oh, no. No.
She just killed Mariah.
This is so wrong.
He just cheated on her with Mariah.
Yeah.
And now they're having sex. Colin told police that in December of 2021, he did purchase 2 guns, one for himself and one for Caitlyn. And the police believed him, so they took a closer look at Caitlyn, and they discovered that Caitlyn had a Class B warrant out for her arrest.
Oh, what'd she do?
Just unpaid bills related to Botox treatment.
Oh, girl, come on. Pay for your Botox.
That she'd had a few years earlier.
What?
I don't know. How is that possible?
That's kind of funny.
According to the warrant, Caitlyn got some Botox treatment at this beauty spa in Austin. It costed $653. When Caitlyn went to pay, she pulled out a card and said, "Oh, you know what? This isn't the right card. The card I need to use is in my car." So she went to get the card, but she never came back to pay for her Botox.
She did a dine and dash, but with Botox.
She was arrested for the warrant, but then on a technicality, they wrote her wrong birthday down, so she was released. But before she was released from their custody, she was asked about Mariah's death and her relationship with Colin. She was asked if she knew anything about what happened to Mariah, and she just rolled her eyes. Nah. When they confronted her about the CCTV footage, she simply said, "I don't know anything about that."
Playing it cool.
And there was nothing else to hold her on, and as I said, that technicality made the warrant invalid, so she was let go by the police. Only 3 days after Mariah's death, an anonymous tipster told police about Colin and Kaitlyn's on-again, off-again relationship and how Caitlyn had become furious and was shaking in anger whenever the name Mariah was mentioned. This tipster said she was so angry that she'd often say she wanted to kill Mariah. Police were able to obtain some text messages between Mariah and Colin that clearly indicated the pair still had feelings for each other. I mean, obviously.
Right.
So one of the text messages between Mariah and Colin said, quote, "Hey, so I'd like to talk to you at some point. I originally texted you on Friday, but it appears that your texts aren't going through. This weekend was strange for me. I just want to know what's going on. If you just want to be friends, then that's cool, but I'd like to talk about it because honestly, my mind has been going in circles and I don't know what to think." And then Caitlyn became the prime suspect in Mariah's murder, which caused her to lose her fucking mind. She suddenly moved out of her home with Colin, cut off all ties with Colin, stopped hanging out with her cycling group of friends, and deleted all of her social media accounts. She sold her black Jeep for $12,000, so now she had some cash. On May 17th, a warrant was issued for Caitlyn's arrest for the murder of Mariah. But by the time the police went to arrest Caitlyn, she's gone.
Really, girl?
She's gone.
Because you're going to get away.
So Caitlyn's on the run, and I have to admit something.
Yes?
I do know a little bit. I have a little personal knowledge about this case because I do know.
Oh, you do?
I wasn't going to say it, but I do know somebody in Michigan that was with her for a couple years.
Like an ex-boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But that's all I'm going to say. Caitlyn was caught on surveillance cameras at the Austin-Bergstrom International Airport wearing white pants, a blue jacket, and a black COVID mask.
Like a surgical...
Yes, thank you.
Whatever.
She boarded a flight to LaGuardia Airport to New York with her sister's stolen passport. She then traveled to Costa Rica.
Oh, she stole her sister's passport?
Yeah.
Costa Rica? Damn,
Yeah.
This girl's on like some wild ass on the run.
Yeah, Costa Rica's nice too. She traveled to Costa Rica and settled in the town of Santa Teresa. It was about a 3-hour drive and a 2-hour ferry to get to the nearest airport.
Wow.
So she's like
deep
in
the country.
Felt like she's pretty safe. She started to teach yoga to the tourists.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the yoga.
And the locals in the area. And she spent a lot of time at surf bars around the island. And she's sipping margaritas by the poolside without a care in the world. She got a job in a hostel, and no one knew who she was. To her, she'd gotten away with murder. She cut and dyed her hair. She went by Ari instead of Caitlyn, and she got plastic surgery on
She
her
did?
face. Yes, she did.
What?
So no one would recognize her. She got a nose job for $6,000.
Wow. Okay, that's a cheap ass nose job, number one.
Is it?
I think.
No, that sounds expensive. I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
so now she's Ari with different hair and
nose
a
job.
new
A new
nose.
nose.
Yeah. And she'd pretty much fallen in love with paradise.
She went to extremes.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, man. She's on the run.
Yeah.
She became friends with a man named Teal Akerson. He worked at a tattoo shop on the island, and they exchanged numbers. And Teal noticed Ari, I don't know how she pronounced her new name, had a bandage on her nose, and she said it was from a surfing accident. They went on a couple dates where, I'm going to say Ari had suggested some very secluded spots on the island. Ari began to open up to Teal, said she was eager to explore the island, and said that she'd gone through a terrible breakup, which is why she decided to go to Costa Rica.
I'd say it was terrible.
He had no idea that she was Caitlyn,
Yeah.
running from a murder charge. Teal ended up telling the Daily Beast, quote, I didn't put any of it together. I mean, you wouldn't imagine it. After it all happened and I hear that she's on the run doing this, it made sense why she didn't want to be seen in public, why she wanted to go to secluded places. There were wanted posters up around the resort where Caitlyn was staying.
Wanted posters?
It was a big deal, girl. It was all over
yeah, it is a big deal.
Fucking news. Hello.
That's crazy. In Costa Rica?
At the resort she was
Wow.
at.
That's crazy.
But no one recognized her. She was staying at Don John Surf and Yoga Lodge for less than $20 a night. So that's not really a resort.
No,
But
maybe.
after only 43 days on the run, so she already had a nose job,
Damn,
teaching
girl.
yoga, making money in Costa Rica.
Dating someone.
She was approached by the U.S. Marshals. They were working with the Costa Rica police, and they demanded to see her identification. Ari told them that she didn't have any. And they got a warrant, and they searched her bedroom, and they found her passport. And they brought her back to the U.S., and she was charged for Mariah's murder, along with additional federal charges of unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. On July 21st, 2022, she was arraigned, and she pled not guilty. She was being held on a $3.5 million
Ooh.
bail.
I don't blame them for that. She'd take off as soon as she could.
Now, Colin had nothing to do with Mariah's murder, but he defended her character. In an early interview while Caitlyn was on the run, he initially told reporters that he was going into hiding in fear of his safety when it came to Caitlyn. Then after she was caught, he told reporters that there was no relationship with Mariah at the time. He was with Caitlyn and they had gotten back together. And the affidavit for Caitlyn's arrest completely skewed what the relationship had really been with Mariah. Colin talked about his relationship with Caitlyn and said, quote, we were clearly going our separate ways, but we didn't get enough inertia to separate. Caitlyn and I were involved in several businesses together. Mariah and I communicated maybe twice a month after that. And I think the affidavit that basically said him and Mariah had a relationship was skewed.
Yeah, quit your lying.
Yeah. When asked about whether he would have thought that Caitlyn could have done something like this, he said no, he didn't believe that she was capable of anything like that. And he was shell-shocked and in grieving mode.
Grieving?
How the loss of
Caitlyn,
his
Mariah,
view of
who knows?
Caitlyn, I don't know.
He's
He
so
said-
full of shit. You know why he's saying all that? He didn't want people to look bad in the press.
He said, quote, I would,
And I'm not trying to be totally mean to him, but damn, son.
he said, quote, I would say she is one of the least volatile people I have ever met, and that's why it's so absolutely shocking. She had sides to her personality that I didn't think she shared with anybody. I had no indication of anything like this.
Even though she's sending threatening text messages when he was dating Mariah.
Mhm. Many people were questioning his character after these interviews.
Yeah.
Someone wrote on this one thread, Colin is not honest. Caitlyn shared information with a friend that she wanted to kill Mariah, and she was shaking in anger when she did so. Colin had to have known of the emotional state of Caitlyn. He lived with her. Why would Colin lie to Caitlyn about where he was going that day
That's
if he
right.
didn't basically know it was wrong?
Right.
Just so you know, according to this thread, Colin not only bought the gun, but he also bought a silencer for it.
Oh, shit.
And he knew that Caitlyn couldn't buy a gun herself because she had that warrant for Botox. Anyway. Apparently later, Colin reflected on the night of Mariah's murder, and he felt pretty traumatized about how Caitlyn had initiated sex not long after killing Mariah.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
And he thought the way she was behaving was rather unusual. To him, he felt like he was a trophy for Caitlyn. That's why she did it.
Maybe.
Like she had claimed him.
Yeah, like she won.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Colin says he bought the gun originally because in the summer of 2020, Caitlyn had told him that a man, maybe he was drunk or suffering from mental illness, was banging on their door. And the man eventually left, but she was really scared. Caitlyn also told him that there was a man screaming at her at a grocery store, and that when she would ride her bike, creepy men would follow her and make her feel unsafe. So I don't know if she rode her bike around with a gun. I don't know. Colin said that he had contemplated suicide after Mariah's death, and that he lost a lot of the sponsors for his cycling.
Well,
Yeah.
he's kind of like tainted
I
now.
wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to sponsor him.
Even though he didn't do it, it's
Mhm.
like, well, you're kind
Yeah,
of he's guilty by association. I
Right.
think,
Mm-hmm. Police later found out that prior to Mariah's murder, Caitlyn went to a firing range
Oh, no.
to practice, which showed that it wasn't a crime of passion.
Yeah.
It was premeditated. This is all alleged. I want to say this. This is all alleged. Nobody knows what Caitlyn did. Because
Okay.
her trial's not till October.
Oh,
So this is all alleged, allegedly, alleged.
alleged.
Did I say that? Enough. Alleged. She may very well be innocent.
She very well may be.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Her defense to this so far, because there was no trial, is that she had to leave town. She had to get the nose job because she was trying to flee from Colin,
Uh-huh.
and she was scared of him.
Well, yeah, that's what people do. When they break up from someone, they go to a different country and get nose jobs and start a new life.
Teach yoga.
Yeah, why not?
In honor of their daughter's memory, Mariah's family set up the Mariah Wilson Foundation. Their goal is to raise money for community youth organizations centered on helping young people develop self-confidence, strength, and joy through the activities Mariah was passionate about, including cycling and skiing. To this day, they have raised $141,000.
Aww.
And that is the end of the story.
So her trial's not until October.
Yes.
We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yes.
Damn.
That's it.
That's it. Well, that was a wild ride. No pun intended.
Oh,
I know. I didn't mean to,
come on.
Like I said, it was
You're so
unintended.
clever. You're so clever. So funny. Thank you guys for all listening to this story, and you guys can follow it because it's going to be happening in October.
Yeah, it's not too far away.
It is pretty crazy.
Unless it gets delayed like it does in court.
delayed
So,
again,
I mean, it could,
and then
you know,
delayed again.
it
Yes.
could be like next year. Who knows? But
That's it.
That's it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And before you go, if you haven't hit the subscribe or follow button, please do so. And if you want to visit our website, it's crimesandconsequences.com.
Yep.
You can find out information there or at patreon.com/TNTcrimes
TNT?
about becoming a Patreon member.
Yes, you can. What do they get with that?
They get
so
every
many
weekly episode, early release, commercial free. They also get an extra episode every week that's not
Every
released to
week.
the public.
Yes.
You can also subscribe if you listen on your Apple podcast app. You can subscribe through there.
Yeah,
And we are
Why
on,
not?
yeah, why not do it?
I would.
You know you want to.
I did.
Exactly. And if you want to see us on
So did
social
all my family.
media, yeah, so did all your family.
And friends.
So if you want to see us on social media, even though we haven't quite been as active as
No, we have
usually
not been active.
We are on Facebook and Instagram at Hardcore True Crime.
Hardcore true crime.
And I think that's it.
I think that's it.
If I missed something, just
We're
listen to
tired
last week's episode.
Yeah.
It's there.
I'm tired, and I got to go pick up my daughter.
Exactly. So until our next episode.
Just don't kill each other.
Bye.
Bye.